What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about one of the best players in the NBA, one of the most lethal scorers in NBA history, and that is Kevin Durant. Now, I'm pretty sure all you guys are familiar with Kevin Durant, and how everyone in the media has an opinion on his legacy and his overall standing in NBA history. So, with that being the case, I want to give you guys my input on what I think of Kevin Durant and his past decisions, and the overall narrative that he plays with a stacked deck. And I think by the end of this video, you'll see the same concerns I do when regarding Kevin Durant's legacy, and how fans in the future as well as the media will perceive him from an all-time standing. Now, before I get into this video, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do so, and if you could like this video, I would greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, let's get into the video. So right now, we're about 75% done with the 2021 season, and so far Kevin Durant has played less than 20 games, and at this point, he hasn't played in nearly 2 months. Now, Brooklyn during this time has gone from the 3rd seed in the East to the number 1 overall seed, and they've actually become the championship favorites in spite of Kevin Durant being out. And right now, looking at this Brooklyn Nets roster, just looking at the name value and the superstar status, it is a stacked roster. You have Kevin Durant, of course, James Harden, Kyrie, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. All those players at some point in their career were stars in the NBA. And looking at that roster compared to the roster at the beginning of the year, it is night and day. And Brooklyn's made so many great trades and so many great moves this season, it's really shifted the narrative on this Nets team. Coming into the year, they were the Kyrie and KD Nets. It was seen as a 2-man team, but now it's really morphed into a 3-headed monster, KD, Harden, and Kyrie, surrounded by very, very good role players. And Brooklyn has gotten so good, they are really on the borderline of being a super team. Now, like you guys know, Kevin Durant, he is no stranger to super teams, and that is one of the big overarching themes of Kevin Durant's career. So what I want to do first is look at Kevin Durant's rosters that he's had in his career. Starting on OKC from 2009 to 2016, he had Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, and Kevin Martin. Now looking at Golden State, he has Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Andre Iguodala. And now in Brooklyn, he has James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Joe Harris, and LaMarcus Aldridge. And I think any objective fan can realize that is a star-packed lineup in each of those teams. And the 3 greatest players of the 2010s era, in my opinion, are LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry. So look at how Kevin Durant's help stacks up versus those other 2 guys. Looking at the All-Star and All-NBA teammates they had, Kevin Durant had James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. LeBron James had Anthony Davis, Dwayne Wade, Kyrie Irving, Chris Bosh, and Kevin Love. Steph Curry only had Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. And both LeBron and Steph Curry have won 3+ championships, while Kevin Durant is stuck at 2, despite having the most help out of those 2 superstars. Now, I don't want to spend too much time talking about Kevin Durant's decision to go to the Golden State Warriors, as there have been numerous videos, and that topic has been beaten into existence, but I will note the 2016-17 season, that was really the point in Kevin Durant's career where everything changed. And that season with the Warriors, they could have gone 16-0 in the playoffs, which they nearly did, and Kevin Durant could have averaged 40 points per game in the finals, also which he nearly did, and he wouldn't have gotten any credit, because the narrative was already set that if Kevin Durant won a championship with Golden State, those rings would hold little to no value. Now, my personal opinion, a championship is a championship, and a team like the Warriors, if they have the opportunity, should get someone like Kevin Durant. That's the goal of sports, is to win championships, and you're supposed to have the best team around you. Now, with that being said, I understand the criticism that comes with that, and I think looking back at the past era, LeBron James, he was really the first player to create a free agent super team, and Kevin Durant kind of followed in his footsteps and checkmated him to a degree, going to Golden State. And one other thing I want to touch on is how the NBA media and NBA fans can have a huge impact on a player's legacy. The main thing I am worried about with Kevin Durant is in NBA history, looking back, he's going to be discredited big time for his decisions and the stacked rosters he played on. And the overall perception that Kevin Durant is a quote-unquote soft player and that he can't take criticism. No matter how true that is something that will affect Kevin Durant's legacy down the line. And like I said, the media and NBA fans can have a huge impact on the perception 20 to 30 years from now. Look at someone like Isaiah Thomas, who played in the late 80s on a very controversial Pistons team. No fans outside of Detroit liked that Pistons team, and nobody in the media outside Pistons media people liked Detroit. And as you've seen over time, Isaiah Thomas is lost in the shuffle when talking about Magic and Bird, as well as Jordan, when he is definitely deserving of being mentioned with those players. Now, Kevin Durant, in my opinion, is better than Isaiah Thomas ever was, but I think you'll see a similar effect on Kevin Durant's career down the line. Now, getting back to the present in 2021, I see a huge problem for this Nets team, specifically Kevin Durant. If Brooklyn wins the championship, it'll be chalked up that they were the best team, and everyone knew that team was going to win the championship, and KD, no matter how great he plays, will get little to no credit from the majority of fans. Now on the other hand, if they lose in the finals, or lose before the finals, it will be an all-out assault on Kevin Durant and his legacy. And win or lose the championship, it is a lose-lose situation for one Kevin Durant. And coming into the 2021 season, with Kevin Durant and Kyrie being the headliners for this Nets team, I thought if Brooklyn won a championship, the majority of NBA fans would have given this due credit that he finally won without a stacked super team. And I think winning with just Kyrie would be more the traditional route to winning a championship like we've seen in the past with other superstars. But now that you've added James Harden as well as LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, you have Jeff Green, Bruce Brown, Nick Claxton, I just think this Nets team right now is so stacked top to bottom, it is going to be very, very difficult for Kevin Durant to get any credit if they win the championship. And over the past 4 to 5 years, ever since KD left Oklahoma City, he's been looking for his much due credit. Now this video right here was a very informal video. There was no stats like usual, and there really was no breakdown or no in-depth analysis. But I think this specific video is much needed because I've already seen a lot of the narratives and a lot of the build-up starting with this Nets team. And I'm just warning you guys, no matter what happens this year, be on the lookout for a lot of these narratives that I discussed in this video. And to wrap up this video, I'll say this. Yes, Kevin Durant has played on stacked teams. Yes, his move to Golden State, joining the team he lost to, that was a quote-unquote weak move. But I think over time, most sensible NBA fans should forgive Kevin Durant if they ever turn on him in the first place. And when I personally evaluate players, I will take into account how much help they had and how difficult their competition was. But I don't think that stops Kevin Durant from being a top 15 player of all time, and very, very soon, he could be pushing top 10 status. And I think a lot of NBA fans will be very, very reluctant to put Kevin Durant in their top 10 list of all time for a very good reason. So with all that being said, this was the sad reality of Kevin Durant's legacy. He is doomed for failure, win or lose, and I don't think will ever get the credit he rightfully deserves. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed it. I want to give you guys my overall input on Kevin Durant and his legacy, and going forward how I think he'll be perceived. So as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.